What's up, everyone? In this video, we're going to be talking about Tesla stock earnings, why it is currently up in after hours right now, and what the market is currently doing, and the best stocks to watch for the rest of this week. Looking at the heat map from today, overall, a lot of stocks popped up, but it wasn't like yesterday. Today was more of like the growth stocks exploding. Stocks like Shopify, Meta, Enphase, and I guess you could say like Asana, Palantir, and Square all exploded to the upside. In today's video, we're going to talk about the best stocks to watch tomorrow. But Tom, I know a bunch of people are looking at Tesla in after hours right now. It's up a good amount. What's going on? How was Tesla earnings?
Yeah, so actually the earnings were very good compared to a lot of expectations. So a lot of people were expecting Tesla to have a ton of issues with their Shanghai factory being closed and stuff like that, but Tesla actually reported decent numbers. You can see that they said that they grew their revenue here 42%, but automotive margins did decline. Reading through the article though, Mike, it's pretty nice. So they beat on EPS, which is awesome. Their revenue came in right around expectation. It did actually come under just a little bit, but it's another one of those where it's so close that it's almost even. So you could say that it's pretty much even on that one. But going down through the article, Mike, they talk about a ton of stuff. Obviously, the invasion of Ukraine between, well, obviously like with Russia and everything has obviously hurt the supply chain going on right now. And of course, with Shanghai being closed, of course, that also hurt Tesla's production at their factories. But nonetheless, to see them report revenue and EPS this high, even with all of those bad things going on, I think that's honestly pretty good. And it goes to show that the strength that Tesla honestly has right now. And we can see on the chart, Tesla had a pretty big pop in after hours. Kind of looks like Netflix from yesterday, Mike. Both of these stocks have done pretty well initially off these earnings moves. So we'll have to see how Tesla does tomorrow. But I'm really pleased to hear a lot of these good numbers, Mike. And like I said, that production really surprised me.
Yeah, so let's dig a little deeper into the Tesla quarterly update that we have pulled up. There were a couple interesting things that we saw while we were reading through this. Tom, mentioned or not mentioned, go over what we saw with like Bitcoin especially.
Yeah, so guys, this is actually pretty scary, actually, and it's going to freak a lot of people out. But as we know, Tesla was getting pretty big into Bitcoin, but they said that as of the end of Q2, they converted approximately 75% of their Bitcoin purchases into fiat currency, which is very important. That means they're unloading a lot of their crypto right now. You can see conversions in Q2 added $936 million of cash to their balance sheet. So that's a huge thing for the crypto market right now. I know a lot of people have been very upset because Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptos have been falling over the past few months. And, it looks like Tesla might have been kind of selling out during that time. So not a good look, Mike, especially for Elon, from somebody who was really touting crypto there for a while.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I feel like nobody would have thought that, Elon, out of all people, would be dumping 75% of the Bitcoin purchases that they had. So that's crazy. And then, Tom, like I know you already mentioned this a little bit, but Tesla did pretty good this quarter, especially considering that their Shanghai facility was closed down for a lot of the quarter. And even at some points, it was only like operating on, minimum capacity or just limited capacity.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's also stuff going on between their other factories right now with being between Austin and then Berlin. So as we know, Elon Musk has been building a couple gigafactories going on, and he's actually said that this has cost Tesla, I should say, a lot of money. You can see he said here in quotes that these factories are gigantic money furnaces, and to see Tesla still come out with these numbers being well, even with all these high costs going on, is amazing. And I saw some really good numbers actually coming out of the German factory where they already are producing 1,000 vehicles a week. So that's a pretty big milestone already. And it sounds like that if they're already getting 1,000 a week, imagine once they get all the way up to full production, it's going to sound pretty good. So hopefully that helps Tesla out. But like Elon said, there has been a lot of high costs regarding these factories. And like you said, Mike, that stuff going on in Shanghai with all their shutdowns also hurt it. So honestly, I think it was a pretty good report for Tesla. I'm glad to see them still going up here in after hours. And I hope that they can still meet their goal for the end of the year. I know Elon Musk came out and predicted a $1.5 million vehicle production for this year. So I'm curious to see if they're still on pace for that or not. We'll have to see with some of these outlooks coming out.
Yep. All right, Tom. Now looking at Tesla stock. Right now it's around $753 in after hours. The Tesla earnings conference call did not happen yet. But before we fully look at Tesla, it does kind of look like the Netflix setup from yesterday. I think you already mentioned that, but at first Netflix stock exploded up in after hours from their earnings report, and then by the time the market actually opened, it was almost flat, and then it ended up popping back up. So I just wanted to draw that comparison because Tesla is like it's up right now in after hours, but I wouldn't call it like exploding or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure a lot of people are probably excited right now because I'm sure a lot of people were grabbing a lot of call options at the end of the day to try to trade Tesla to the upside. And we can see actually right now, Mike, in after hours, it's actually pulling down almost back down to closing price. We're all the way back down to 748 off of those highs up around 777. So it's already starting to come back down. I can't wait to see where this one opens tomorrow. I hope it stays more in the green than falling back down in the red. But yeah, it's going to be a volatile one. And it looks like a big theta burner, Mike. I feel bad for everybody who tried to gamble on this one, especially if it opens where it opens up, especially if it opens where it looks like it's going to be right now, somewhere around 750.
Gotcha. So like what are the two or three most important levels you have on this one?
So honestly, with Tesla, I've been looking at a pretty big range with them lately. They've been in a really good like wedge formation on like the daily chart here. You can see on a longer term 15-minute chart, they've pretty much been staying between this range. And as of right now, they started to slightly pop above that. But as we know, with earnings, it's going to be volatile. So just keep that in mind. I would say, Mike, in after hours, they honestly hit right up there around that 780 resistance. I think that's going to be a big resistance. We hit right around there and we started coming right back down. So watch that to the upside. But as far as levels down, if Tesla keeps selling off here, definitely watch 730 as a pretty big support. And then below 730, I see another huge one down here around $700 even. I really hope, though, that we start breaking this wedge back to the upside rather than, trading back down into here or even breaking down out of it.
Alrighty, good to know. So Tom, what else is going on in the market?
So yeah, there was actually some pretty big news today regarding the CHIPS Act. Now keep in mind, this news can be a little bit misleading. They're talking about the CHIPS Act right now being or advancing through the Senate. A lot of people are thinking that this actually passed the Senate, but keep in mind, it's just advancing through the Senate. They're still going to be voting on it either later this week or next week, but this is going to give $50 billion to help boost U.S. semiconductor production. And this is going to help a lot of companies from Nvidia to Intel to a few others. But I know Intel specifically has had some pretty big, I guess you could say, coverage with this bill. I know they were trying to get a lot of funding and stuff from this, but nonetheless, they voted to advance this bill. They actually accepted a bill over a year ago that was worth $150 billion, but they had to slim that down to $50 billion now, nonetheless. But either way, Mike, this is starting to advance through Congress, and it passed at a pretty big clip. They had a 64-34 vote. So if it was that high, you would think that this would actually start to go through pretty easily. And who knows, this might bring some pretty big volatility into maybe Nvidia, Intel, and a few other of those American semiconductors.
Yeah, we'll see. I know there's been a ton of people looking at Nvidia stock lately as Nancy Pelosi and her husband loaded up on Nvidia shares just very recently. It was like on June 6th or June 17th, I believe, is when they exercised their options. But they loaded up on Nvidia, and of course, there's kind of a conflict of interest when you have Nancy Pelosi buying shares of Nvidia and then voting on the bill. So that was interesting. But yeah, keep an eye on these chip stocks. Nvidia and Intel are some of my favorite to watch related to this event.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see both of them are actually up quite a bit today. Nvidia was obviously the big mover. Intel's right around like a resistance around $40.75. But I think this can definitely bring in some pretty good volatility or even some pretty good upwards movement here with that funding coming in. And I think it'll be good for the country overall because as we know, there's been a lot of supply chain issues between Tesla, Ford, and a ton of other companies because of semiconductor supply chain problems. And like they're saying, we won't have to rely on China as much for this anymore.
Yeah, and basically everything nowadays requires chips in one way or another. So very interesting. These chip stocks have been on fire over the past couple years. But Tom, I also want to talk about some of the recent plays in the Discord. So guys, the market has been very volatile lately, and it has been amazing for at least our recent options trades. So we can see the bot play today went from $265 all the way up to $335, and that was even playing puts on a day where many other stocks boomed to the upside. And then Tom, even check out your post in the profits channel. Basically all across the board, the swing plays have been popping. We had a Disney play that popped from $350 all the way up to over $1,100 in just a week. So that was awesome. Tom's PENN play did great. So did a CCL play. So if you guys are looking to take advantage of this market volatility, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. We do have a coupon code running. 2022 is the coupon code. You'll save around $41 by doing that. It's awesome for this current market. You get access to daily options trades, swing trades. You can chat with Tom and myself all day long. You get access to a private community and many other bots you won't find anywhere else. So definitely check it out. It has been on fire lately. Definitely check it out. But Tom, I think we're ready for the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have AMD, but to the downside.
Yeah, AMD, actually go ahead and make them break down below $88.50. You can see they're actually falling down quite a bit here in after hours after having actually a decent move in the middle of the day.
Yep. Alrighty. With the next one, we have Asana, but to the upside.
Yeah, Asana. So go ahead and make them break out above that high of day there, right around $20. Now, keep in mind, guys, that is the high of day, but nonetheless, that's a pretty big level there, $20 even.
Yeah, it's a big psychological level too. And then with the next one, we have Palantir, also to the upside.
Yeah, Palantir, there's a nice double top there, right around $10.20. So go ahead and make them break out above that. And you can actually see, Mike, we plotted a level on Palantir earlier in the week, and it really started exploding above that today.
You know it. So we are watching Palantir and Asana for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. And then we are watching AMD for a potential day trade to the downside tomorrow, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. But yesterday's momentum play, or at least one of them, Shopify, went insane today. Tom, tell us more about it.
Yeah, this was actually a really awesome play, Mike. So we called this out yesterday pretty much to break above like $34.60. And you can see that this morning it exploded up above there, broke right out of our highlighted area that I posted on the chart. And look at how much this thing moved today, up 11.99%, almost closed up 12% on the day. That would have been an amazing move. Ever since it broke, it just kept running up all throughout the day. It did have a couple downturns, but nonetheless, it never fell back down to our level. So it had a really nice run. Take advantage of these plays, guys. They can do very, very well. And we post a lot more of these in the Discord all throughout the day too.
Yep. And then one more thing, I want to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, Wall Street Pirate 16. Thank you so much for your awesome support and activity in the Stocked Up Discord. Tom and I really appreciate you. And then Tom, check back in on Tesla for 1 second. We can just see how volatile this market is. It is actually now in the red after reporting earnings. Right now, Tesla stock is right around $737 a share. It closed right around $742, and as of right now, it had highs of $778 in after hours, but now it's in the red.
Yeah, it really is. That's a big drop back down, Mike. I cannot believe the volatility that we're seeing on Tesla. Like I said, definitely one of those theta burner type of plays right now. Hopefully it doesn't close down too low, though. That way the shareholders are doing okay on it. But yeah, I hope that it ends up maybe holding on support or something like that. Like we talked about, there is some pretty big support coming up down there around like 732 and then even 720. So be on the lookout for some of those levels, guys. But it's volatile, Mike. And, you know, this is why earnings are tough to play. It's always a coin flip with these.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. We've been killing it in this market lately, and the volatility has been awesome, especially for day trades and even swing plays. Definitely check it out. We have a coupon running, coupon code 2022. Besides that, let's have an amazing rest of the week.